We are live for the last game of play day for Group A. The hype is this size. I'm ready to go in and talk about Verdant and Los Ratones. I have too many things on the desk. Don't even try me, Fox. With that in mind, Verdant versus Los Ratones. I know a lot of people are waiting for this one, but we have to make it fair. We have to make it interesting. He also has one. Middle.
You don't want to see what's on my desk, Archer.
And with that in mind, we had an interview with Ronaldo, and he stated, let's bring in the beef, let's bring in the heat. He was like, I'm mad.
Who did that, bro? What is that? Who's responsible for this?
No.
I didn't ask for this!
Pay them less.
Oh my God.
Whoever made this, pay them less. No.
I didn't ask.
Alrighty. Right, Ronaldo versus the Messi League. Let's do it. Fantastic. Verdant versus Los Ratones. There's actually quite a lot on the line for this game. Los Ratones already locked in first place. Perfect record. No defeat to their name. If they win this, they will have the perfect 4-0 in the seeding stage. But if Verdant lose, they will be 1-3 alongside Lightside and Bulldog. And because we got like a rock, paper, scissors situation going on where Verdant beat Bulldog, but Bulldog beat Lightside, but Lightside beat Verdant, we will have tiebreakers on Friday. If Verdant lose this game, if they win, then obviously they go to 2-2 and avoid that situation.
The stakes are high for this game. Los Ratones want to end up with a 4-0. That would be the perfect idea for them and for Los Ratones as well. I don't know if you are aware, but every single time you join in Bao's stream, he has it. He's the king, and he actually solo killed Faker. So if this happens, we have to deal with Bao's putting on the stream name 100% with Ryan professionally. And that's a complicated one. So with that in mind, I don't know what we're going to do, but we also have to highlight on the first game of today, Los Ratones had an interesting beginning of game versus Bulldogs. Okay, we have to highlight this, but they're so good at adapting, and that's the concern. I mean, you have Reckless. His knowledge and his intelligence within the Rift, I swear, I don't know, that guy's too much. What about Verdant? They're good. How can they win?
Ooh, that's a big question, Archer.
Yes, it is. I'm trying to take my cat away from here, but yeah.
Cat?
So
Yeah.
it's a difficult one, right? Because I think if you look name by name, just looking at these rosters, I don't necessarily feel like Verdant are particularly outclassed in any individual role. I think you look at Los Ratones and you go, these guys are just a bit better, but I don't think that there is such a massive gulf that you're expecting like 40 CS leads by 10 minutes, okay? Foxy's pulling faces. I know he disagrees with me. I'm going to continue on my point.
Please
so
do.
I think that the way for Verdant to win is to try and capitalize on Los Ratones' mistakes. And that's going to be pretty difficult considering that Los Ratones have been one of the cleanest teams in the league. Los Ratones, they had a rough early game. They recovered in the mid-game to get a win earlier. Verdant, they had an exceptional early game, and then they frittered it away. So the way that Verdant win is completely flipping the script of what we'd necessarily expect from these two teams. The 1% chance is always going to be there, but I think Los Ratones are expecting, and quite frankly should be 4-0 by the end of the day.
Wukong available. Either you pick it, either you lose it.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's going to be Varus instead. Most notably, Galio is taken away for the first time for Los Ratones. So Nemesis will be playing a new champion. He's probably quite happy about that. I don't think Galio is the most exciting pick in the game. Yeah, okay, so we got the Varus first pick here for Verdant. Callista is still on the board if Los Ratones want to go into that. Crowley's done a lot of Corki before. It's going to be the Ez. And as you pointed out, Archer, the Wukong from Velia. Now, I think personally, the most mortal we've seen Los Ratones was when in that Bulldog game where there was big team fights, so a big team fight comp, you just butt heads and go crazy up against each other, right? And so if I'm Verdant, I'd look to replicate that. I'm picking for those team fights, and we've got Vara's Chains of Corruption, we've got the Equalizer from Rumble, you know, we've got some space, we've got some frontline, some CC from Vi as well. Like, I like what we're doing here from Verdant. If there is potentially a weakness to exploit, this is where it's going to be, and that is locked in. He's got it. Baus has his Scion. We're going to see it here.
Keep in mind, one item is disabled to play tank Scion, and he said it on stream today. I'm going to play AD Scion. Expect a lot of deaths, but a lot of kills. I'm hyped. We might even get the Baus special. And if Initialize doesn't shoutcast with the Baus special, I don't know. I know where you live, Initialize. I'll send you flowers.
I don't know where Initialize lives. I know where Namira lives though, so maybe I
They
can ask
left
him.
Felt like a threat. It still felt like a threat. I'm gonna send you flowers.
Flowers.
But to counteract the sort of big team fight identity that we're maybe anticipating Verdant to go for, Los Ratones here, you've got a bit more flexibility. I think that the mobility that Wukong and Ezreal have when you are trying to avoid being engaged on these massive scenarios can be pivotal. We've all seen Vile, a Wukong clone, and it's very, very funny. And we're doubling down on that mobility. Yes, Azir, big teamfight mage. Emperor's Divide, big teamfight ability. But also can get out of those rough situations very, very easily.
It could be a Rakan or a Janna.
Okay. Ooh,
Reckless Janna.
We're dogpiling for Verdant here. Lots of engage, lots of all in, lots of CC. All right, you want to see Janna from Reckless?
It's Reckless. His John is sick, and that's the way to save your back line. Like you see Vi, Yone, all these engagers. And Reckless can bring the wind. Or even the Rakan. He loves Rakan.
This is it. When's the last time you saw Janna? Yeah, the Braum disengaged. We got the shield as well. Trying to protect a little bit from this all-in from Verdant. I like it. I like the style that we've got here from Verdant, because I do genuinely believe, like with that Bulldog game we saw earlier today against Los Ratones, it was we had some fights that went Bulldog's way, and if they were a little less behind from the early game, from the nameplate diff, then maybe that could have actually turned into something. So I like what Verdant have got here, and crucially, it's a very easy to execute draft. There are no misconceptions about what those 5 champions want to do.
Millocott, Foxdrop, we have the champion select. Everybody's excited. Everybody's waiting for the last game of the day. I want predictions. Keep it short and snappy.
XDD, we are rats. XDD.
Love it. Fox.
Yeah, I'm ratting it up.
Well, on one side you have Verdant. They have 2 Portuguese players in the mid lane. It is called Ronaldo. This could be their way out of a tiebreaker. For the other side, though, they have Los Ratones. They have Baus. They have Science Special. The hype is real. Let's toss it to the gas initial.
Let's go.
Solari, I'm really sorry. I just had a really threatening bunch of flowers turn up at my front door. I don't know where they came from.
I wouldn't touch them, honestly. Just also tell Mary you have to move, both of you.
Yeah, we need to leave. Archroom knows where we live, and that's very scary. We're gonna have Foxy and Archroom.
Yeah.
I know that's awful. I don't want any of them anywhere near me.
I'm sorry
that's
for
just
you.
all no. Yeah.
Ew.
Archroom lost his mind a bit there, but this is absolutely hype. Baus on Scion. Incredibly exciting. We'll talk about the rest of the rosters as we go along, the rest of the team comes as we go. But this is the champion that Baus made his name on years ago. It's the one where he popularized and kind of vindicated the whole inting Scion strat. Riot had to win. There was a whole discussion about whether it was a correct way to play the game. I remember Cadril, even when it was a little clip that came out recently, he was saying like they had the Riot background checks, and Baus still came back as moderately toxic, partly because his playstyle is still a little bit controversial, bluntly, but this is the champion. This is the playstyle that he made his name on. He's on the Lumberjack Scion. He's got Phase Rush. He's going AD Scion. Bousy special. Scion special, baby. Let's go.
Oh my god, finally! I mean, is there really a right or wrong way to play a game? it's a game. It gives you like a bunch of rules, but then apart from that, aren't you like a person with a free mind? Can't you just do whatever you want?
How serious an answer do you want? Because I can seriously pull out the academic text on this if you want.
Oh, go on, please.
Do we have to? I mean, there's a level 1 sort of happening right now. I think they're not looking for a little. Okay, so the answer is there is a really cool text from like 1900 and something by a guy called Johann Huizinga, who wrote a really cool book called Homo Ludens, which is about like the rules of play for humanity and how we make games. And the magic circle in terms of games. And basically the idea is if you are all playing a game together, the idea is you all kind of abide by a certain set of rules within that kind of sphere of the game. And there's a whole set of essays and stuff on it, where the answer is if someone is playing by different rules to you, are you really playing the same game? And does everyone else have to accept it? And the answer is possibly not. But there you go. Johann Huizinga, Homo Ludens, academic games. There you go. Well, you can say I've spent my life in a correct way.
You know what? I am not disappointed. Thank you. I would still, however, not be convinced by you.
That's fair.
I think that
it's a great book. I'd recommend it.
You're still like he's still playing by the rules of the game, and like anything else is just the matter of perception.
Well, exactly that. And you're going to have those whole debates around it, but it's really interesting because there is a whole lot of academic texts around it. If you were to care to go look for them, but Velia right now might need to care about getting away from his crub camp here, as Verdant are pretty swift to come and invade that and try and steal away the big camp. There's a Nimbus strike forwards. Reckless there lands the Winter's Bite there onto Obstinatus, and it could end up being a 2v3 here quite swiftly. As actually opposed to Velia on the enemy Krugs there, which Verdant tried to defend against. The level 2's now hit by Los Ratones. Got a little confused there about which side of the map people were on briefly. I was too busy talking about academic text for video games, which is very me. But here we are.
Yes.
Talking about League of Legends instead, which is perhaps what I'm actually being paid for. No, we'll trade the Krugs on the other side. There's a Baus. Hasn't done anything too weird yet. He's just trading out in the wave so far. No Name is around. We'll look for the gank on in here. There's going to be a fair chunk onto Baus here. Gets the phase rush. I think he's just deciding I'm going to die here. Throws out the Soul Furnace, and will try and clear out as much of the wave as he can. First death against Baus. Of course it is. It's a Scion special.
Yay! And the count is officially open. Let's go! Oh, I'm so excited about this one, with Baus being finally allowed to play on his Scion. And by the way, Nemesis finally being allowed to play anything that is not Galio-shaped. I'm so happy for
Galio-shaped, so it could be other champions as long as they look enough like Galio that it counts.
Can I not elaborate on that statement of mine, please?
No, fine. We'll leave that one where it lies.
Thank you so much. Anyway, going back to the game, which started with the first blood, like, you gotta take into consideration that yes, Baus is not really giving too much with just, dying as a Scion. It's a typical Baus stuff, but with the feats of strength, this changes stuff a little bit in terms of now that he's given one stack of those feats to Verdant, so now they're just one of those away from getting the upgraded boots and all the good stuff that comes with those. And now you giving away the first blood counts much more than it used to before. Even though we have the stats that I believe you have brought up, that feats of strength don't really relate to win rate so much, if I recall correctly.
So this is a really interesting one. Yeah, there was some stats. I think it was DPM on Twitter posted probably a couple weeks ago now, where there was basically like at the beginning of the split, beginning of the season, a lot of people were in uproar saying, "Oh my days, the focus on early game objectives has really tilted win rates, and getting those early objectives has skewed how much you're winning the game compared to previous seasons." And the stats came out, and it's moved by about like 0.2, 0.3%. It's just those objectives, those early objectives have mattered that much. As long as they've been in the game, they've mattered that much in previous seasons too. It's just that people are now getting a more visual representation of it, and they're seeing how much they actually matter in the first place. It's not changed that much, it's just the perception of them has.
I have a counter argument for that though, because we just, if you isolate NLC from the rest of the world, we have a massive win rate for the feats of strength. It's not 100% as it was up to some point on day one, but it still is a massive win rate for the feats of strength. So isolated here, it still works and it still matters a lot.
Yeah, and there is a difference also between pro and solo queue too, right? But I think the feats of strength are attached to objectives, right? So in the sense that you get first turret, well, the win rate's at like 70-odd%. Or you get first kill, it's like 60% or whatever the win rate is. Bot lane, Heal burned. Reckless will back away with the stand behind me, but he's still very low. Flash on forward for the hail of arrows. Reckless just about alive, trying to body block, not enough. Now Crownie gonna be able to do anything to save his support's life, and Verdant pick up a second kill in the early game. They're off to the races here.
Oh, that's looking good for them. They're going to lose the Grubbies on the top lane, but at the same time, they have them in Fallen Drake, and they just secure the prio on the bot lane. Crownie has the recall, of course. Reckless is just walking back from the base, so they should be able to take this dragon with absolutely no resistance whatsoever from Los Ratones. At least Velja is getting those Grubbies, so that's still something to work towards if you're thinking about the feats of strength.
If there are any doubts, there are any now. That's a Cull and a Dirk in inventory for Baus.
Yes!
We are full committing. It is lethality Sion with the Cull.
Oh my god, let's go! That's gonna be so fun, but I feel like it's going to be similar to what we saw. Was it game 1 when he picked Cho'Gath on the top lane? Game 1 of NLC for Los Ratones.
Yes.
When everybody underestimated him, but the thing is, he still was getting tankier and tankier as the game was progressing, and you can't take that away from Sion. This guy naturally will be getting tankier as the game goes, without necessarily even building himself into a full tank. Just on top of that, on top of being very hard to kill, he's also going to deal a lot of damage to anybody who's going to try to come his way. The problem though, we gotta wait until it actually happens.
We were kind of like, we had a bit of an academic tangent off it about, you know, like the fact he plays a very different game, but
yeah,
the point still stands that Baus does know how this game plan works.
Yes.
It's not like he's doing this mindlessly. It's not just randomly doing things. There is a method to the madness, and he gets huge amounts of value from it. It's a very frustrating way to play. It is forcing a lot of other teams to reevaluate how they look at top lane and pressure from it, and especially within pro play, where that kind of really high level of pressure on one side of the map can be utilized and capitalized on by other members of your teams a lot more consistently when you're in comms with your teams, when you're in coordination with your teammates. That can be very difficult to manage. Baus, potentially in a spot of danger here, has used his ultimate. Papatero looking to see whether we can get a bit more value out of that equalizer. Won't really do so as yet. Baus just gets to sit in this bush. The rest of the map just stays a little bit chill for now. Grubs and Dragon were traded, as you mentioned. It is Verdant who are still leading in the gold right now, though not by much, as the gold lead somewhat shrunk by virtue of plates and CS.
It's very tiny. And funny enough, on the top lane, it's not really moving much in either of the direction, especially into the Verdant's direction, despite the fact that that is exactly the part of the map where the first kill, the first blood of the game happened. So far, everywhere else, we're having a rather slow, often early game, which is kind of refreshing, considering the first games that we had today were bloody, and the first games of Los Ratones as well, the previous week, were very bloody as well. Not always the good bloody, but just bloody, full stop there. Crownie, though, no, they're fun. There's a lot of members of Verdant right now on this both part of the map. Dragon is not spawning anywhere soon, but there is an opportunity to search for a fight, maybe with Belgium, maybe with a bot lane of Los Ratones.
Blue buff stolen away by Verdant. Take that one with a little bit of coordinated play from the bot lane coming up to support No Name on that invade. The game just playing a little bit slow for now. Ronaldo steps on forwards with the Mortal Steel and the Soul Unbound, gets a decent chunk there onto the Aziru, isn't willing to burn the ultimate or anything there, especially with the fact Soul Unbound just popped straight back to where he was. A pot in inventory, so Nemesis feeling okay to stick around for now. It's worth noting with the Fate sealed and a cease and desist from No Name, there is a possible full death combo here if they really committed to it, but Reckless and Velia are around, so it's not that easy to make it work.
Scaring Ronaldo a little bit. If Ronaldo is taking a reset right now, that is good timing for Los Ratones to be around top part of the map, because the Grubbies are spawning very soon, just half a minute before they're going to be up and running on the map. Los Ratones already have the first 3-1, so trying to get all the way to 6 with having Baus on Sion on the side lanes, that sounds exactly like the deal Los Ratones would take any day, because that is going to provide them with so much pressure. And we see how Los Ratones have been playing so far, right? Like, whenever Baus is on one side of the map, dragging in the attention, dying potentially, there is always something else happening on the other side of the map for Los Ratones. And that's why, while you praising Baus is absolutely correct, I think it's not just up to Baus for having those crazy games pulling off in NLC, it's also up to the whole team being so well coordinated with Baus and whatever he's doing, and allowing the team to
pressure.
do it. Yes.
Yeah. And I think exactly that. The Grubs are spawning. We're going to have everyone but the AD carries around, but actually Mishi has moved on up here. Reckless in a spot of bother, down about half HP, puts the door up. And now actually he's left Nemesis out to drive. Fate Sealed has already flashed. Won't be able to get too much more. The HP bars are low, but no one has died. Worth noting Fate Sealed and the Chains of Corruption were both used to make that happen, though. So some big ults down for Verdant. As Baus does not get the Decimating Smashdown, gets a charge into the backline. Massive damage into Velia with the Magnet Storm. Yes, Baus is dead, but the health bar damage is huge. Velia goes down, though, as Ronaldo picks that one up, and Baus goes down as well. They thought they'd found a moment there. They went looking for the engage, and unfortunately for them, Baus goes down and so does Velia.
Velia going down is the most unfortunate thing there, to be honest, because he also had to sacrifice the flash in the meantime.
Yep.
And now the Grubbies are going the way of Verdant, bringing them closer to the feats of strength. They just need one more Dragon or a Herald, and they will keep having those upgrades for the movement speed. What happened on the other side of the map? Because, again, usually whenever Baus dies, that's where we need to be looking at. Not much, to be honest. Crowley was getting those turret plates all solo, but it's not
He's
like he
on a
got
ward.
much. He's on a ward.
There's a ward behind him. Yeah,
But
no,
he doesn't-
Baus just stands there and channels Q and gets punished for it. I will say, I thought for a moment there the turnaround might be pretty insane, but there is no Ezreal and there is no Azir to do the follow-up damage. So it
Yes.
all was didn't really in much service of much there.
It's good to have engage, because it's good to have disengage, and Los Ratones have a lot of both, especially of the latter. But they also need some follow-up, and it feels like Crowley, while yes, he got the gold in, he's finally sitting on the tri-full, so that is a good point for Ezreal to be, especially if you compare him to Mish's Varus right now. Still, it feels like Los Ratones are at the point where they really need to be rotating their main forces with them whenever they're trying to force a fight.
No Name is topside. Baus at half HP. Is it just attack Baus all over again? He face checks No Name, who gets a Q and a denting blows off with that Vault Breaker. So down to 10%. Waiting for the wave to come on in. Here comes the dive. Knocks him out of the queue. Baus goes down. There isn't really much more to be done there. He'll clear out the wave at the very least.
It ain't much, but it's earnest work. At least if Los Ratones managed to get this turret on the bot lane, that would be something, but the timing is still not working towards them, because now No Name managed to get a reset. There is still Puppy Tiro pressuring this turret on the top lane, but they're rotating Nemesis from the mid lane. I think they want to force things here on the bot.
I'll try and make it happen. W comes on through. The Essence Flux Arrows. Reckless uses Stamp behind me, throws up the door, gets the Glacial Fissure down as well. Mishi now in danger. The Emperor's Divide doesn't quite get the value that Nemesis is hoping for, and the HP bars here for Los Ratones is not fantastic. Look where Ronaldo is. You heard a Brazilian Ronaldo. You've heard a Portuguese Ronaldo. Wait for Romanian Ronaldo. He goes really deep to set up his team for a few more kills.
8-1. This is the first time we're seeing Los Ratones having such a tragic early game to their name. Still, the gold lead is not that big. It's around 2K. I can't do math really. I swear I can't do math, but that's around 2K still for Verdant. They're keeping to their name. And this whole action on the bot lane was just a series of unfortunate events for them, especially with this Emperor's Divide. It could have been big, but it provided no value. It brought Nemesis to very low health because he had to tank the turret for quite a long time. Reckless is already low. Crowley has no mana, and it's just such an easy and juicy setup for Vi plus Yona, which are a scary combo on their own. But when the enemies are just desperately trying to run away from you, it's oh so easy to press your ultimates and go in and secure the kills.
Is it that? Los Ratones still in this game, still got some good CS numbers in the gold, not that far out of reach at the very least. It's going to be a lot more even of a game state than they are used to, I think it is fair to say, and certainly when it comes to the kill score, it has not been as clean as they would like. It is purple across the board down the center of your screen in the scoreboard, showing that everyone has a lead, at least a slight one, particularly in that mid lane. Ronaldo currently getting significantly ahead of Nemesis here, who hasn't had the easiest time on this Azir versus his opposite number, Crowley. Alcade shifts away. Preventatively? No. There's another word for that where you do it early. It'll come to me at another point, but you get the idea, guys.
Yeah.
We hold our breath for a moment. Still need one more neutral objective to secure that feat of strength for either team. We've got about 2 minutes until the Ocean Dragon spawn. 30 seconds until the Herald. And Verdant are the ones in the river right now securing the Scuttle Crab.
What's important is if Verdant get this Herald right now, they are getting full feat of strength. If Los Ratones secure it, they still need to go for the first turret.
Ronaldo gets a decent double Q there with the Mortal Steel.
It's going to reset in the meantime, but everybody from the side of Verdant are in the top part of the map right now, still sitting this poor turret in the top lane. Oh, Nemesis did it.
Nice chunk. Get nice damage from Baus there. He gets a huge amount of damage in with the phase rush to run away. Forces a flash from Papitero, because that's a Ghost Blade Scion, and that Q will really hurt. All the while, Azir with an Ashes Tooth won the tower rush. So that'll be a feat of strength apiece for now. So that's his hit with the Winter's Bite, but nothing more to be found right now. Velia just walks through the mid lane. 50 seconds until the Ocean Dragon, but the Herald is up. And No Name is starting it up. That would be an additional feat of strength alongside that Herald, which of course can be really valuable for breaking down some of these turrets that can be otherwise a little bit obstinate to bring down, namely those mid lane tier 1s.
And there we go. The feats of strength are in the hands of Verdant, and the Herald, as I just said, also is in the hands of Verdant, so they can try to search for those outer turrets, because still all of them are standing for Los Ratones. Top one has been scratched quite a lot, so potentially there's an opening there for Verdant to go and try to accelerate things from the top lane, especially since that is exactly the part of the map where Atacon is going to be spawning in just a couple of minutes from now on. So it would be really nice for Verdant if they would be able to put some additional pressure on the top part.
Be it. Gold lead is now pretty much nominal, I think it's fair to say, for all that Verdant have a load of the kills. Gold, particularly with that first turret going over, has left things a little bit awkward, but Verdant, with that neutral objective secure, got themselves those feats of strength. You can see the boot upgrades already in inventory. Looking to finally secure that tier 1 top side that Pepitero has been working on since the start of the game.
Yes.
All the while, Baus tries to get a hold of these Krugs, but No Name is there, waiting to prevent that from happening for free. Being as obnoxious as he can be on this fight.
Ooh, it's a
Oh, Baus.
3 men here. Oh, Baus.
Clears out the wave pretty well and then charges away.
Bye.
Oh, goodbye. The getaway driver gets away. I think he's got TP as well, so he's going to clear out the wave and begin proxy farming. Never say Baus doesn't know what he's doing.
He knows exactly what he's doing. And I gotta say, he didn't die this time, okay? He gets the wave, he gets a very nice reset, and his team got a Drake in the meantime. So everything in this little play went pretty much according to the plan for Los Ratones. I also gotta say that Baus is becoming much scarier right now than he was before. Again, only 1 item to his name so far, but that damage when he first went to the top lane with his item completed, that damage was surprising to say the least. Right now, Verdant would need to be careful if they decide to pull out any play around Baus.
Yep. I think that's fair to say, and I think he's going to be trickier to manage still as the game goes on. He's still managing to get value here, even despite those early slightly awkward deaths. Ghostblade away from the Mortal Steel, and then with the phase rush, with the Ghostblade, with the ultimate, he's actually remarkably slippery on what should be a semi-immobile champion.
That's not exactly how you would call him right now. That's the whole point of this build for Sion. He's very slippery. Ronaldo is slippery as well. Doesn't even need to like try to sidestep or anything.
Ouch.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh. Yeah, gets a decent Q back, and the turret shot buys some time, but Baus has burned the phase rush. Gonna use the pop, but I think Ronaldo, with another use of the Soul and Bound in 5 or so seconds, might be looking for the full all-in with No Name around as well. Baus burns the flash, looks to try and get away. Obstinatus takes a huge chunk from the turret, but Baus cannot survive the 1v3 dive. Well, let's get a decent chunk onto No Name here, but the Q will buy enough time to get the Vi out to safety.
Fast, but not fast enough is Baus. His 4th death of his so far. We are still keeping the count because it's rather important. And the Herald is going to be popped on the bot lane. The idea for Verdant right now is try to go for both of the turrets on the bot lane if things work out correctly. That was a nice blink right there. But Los Ratones are rotating forces in order to stop that from happening.
Oh, Bausey fell down. I think it's time for Romania Ronaldo to face it as well. They are the GOATs, the greatest of all time! But wait, hang on, Ronaldo does a fair amount of work back, and my momentary pun was nearly proven false, but he does go down in the end. Nemesis. Now in danger on the other side as Obstinatus is looking to find and catch out the Emperor of Shurima. Nemesis returns to pro play. Well, Emperor's Divide still slowed down enough that I think Papatero, with the Scrap Shield and a Comet plus Electro Harpoon, will bring down the mid laner.
The Comet and the Leandris. Unfortunately, Nemesis was not getting out of this. And the most unfortunate is that the flash is off, the ultimate is off. That death hurts for Los Ratones. 10-2 so far, with Verdant being strongly in lead. And yes, they are starting Atacon. No vision for Los Ratones.
And Nemesis is dead for 20 seconds. They've got a good timer here, and this could be a huge moment for Verdant. Of course, got the Wukong with the flash and the clone available. Could be very difficult to keep out of here. Velia clones away. It's Ronaldo who tries to go unstoppable and buy the space. Down to 5,000 HP. The equalizer is good. It's in a fantastic choke point. On the Asylum, Starts goes clashing down. Ceases in the backline. Onto Velu. Flashes away. Nemesis now TPs in. Baus goes into the passive but does a lot of damage to the backline. They slay Voracious Atacon. Verdant secure it. They've got the withdrawals to their name, and Los Ratones have to back away, having lost the critical neutral objective.
They lost the Atacon, but this, if only there was an Atacon, if only Verdant didn't manage to slay it on time. Look at Crowny. Brother is full health going out of this fight. Nobody was able to touch him, and he was dealing a lot of damage. That's so nice to look at Crowny at mobile champions like Ezreal, because he positions himself so well. The rest of the team makes sure that nobody is getting to this Ezreal, and at the same time, he is dealing a lot of damage to the enemies. If only it wasn't that Atacon, but the moment that Verdant slayed this neutral objective, the rest of the fight makes no sense. If Los Ratones get additional kills, it will not matter whatsoever, so they just withdraw.
Do it that, and then the fight just goes a little bit wrong. Baus tries to buy time in the backline, but the problem is it's just miles and miles and miles away from this Atacon. And yeah, you see the clone come on through, but there's just not quite enough gap close. And when that goes down, the fight is a lot harder to take. And now that second item Hullbreaker again from Mishi comes on through on the Varus, and he's just going to keep building tank. Already got the Riftmaker in for the Rumble, who's also going to continue to get that bit harder to kill. Sterek's done as well, Immortal Shieldbow done as well. You begin to see why things like the Serpent's Fang have been built up by Baus. There's quite a number of shields here, even if you wouldn't expect it at first, between the Sterex and the Shieldbow and the Spirit Cleave and everything else that's coming on through. That little bit of extra ability to get through the defensive tools of Verdant.
So we have the AD Scion and the Tank Varus in the same game. This is fantastic. I'm loving this new season so much, by the way. We only need Jay's tank on the top lane, but fortunately that's not happening.
Not this time around.
Yeah, but what is happening though is this turret on the mid lane is going to go down. Still, the Atacon buff is available for Verdant, so they can force whatever they want on the map right now. And frankly, they should, because that is their time to have some fun plays, take down some objectives, and then withdraw safely and peacefully.
Oh, Baus. It's got an ultimate. It's going the other direction. Gets cease and desist to flash in front to deny the exit. There's nowhere to go, and you can shout cowards as much as you want, Scion. There is no surviving that one. And Bausey. It's not a good death, that one, I don't think, but maybe Ronaldo in mid lane could be punished. But we've still got the withdrawal. It's not that big a deal if he dies. He can take the opportunity to clear the wave and potentially fall and take someone with him. It doesn't matter all that much in the grand scheme of things. They'll get the Glacial Fissure, and still not fallen. Finally has. And actually...
he wasn't dead.
I think it was. About to say, the buff just fell off.
It literally
double check
fell
it.
off. Yes.
Oh no, that's slightly mistimed, Ronaldo. Oops.
Were Los Ratones waiting? Were they waiting for it to fall off? They might.
If they were, they've timed that really well. That's very possible.
That is such a good timing for them, though. But yes, they managed to take Ronaldo down, so this is a full-on death. They get the full gold, they get the XP, everything. Ooh, we have the timer. Thank you so much, observers. So he still has it.
That's so close.
He still has it. Goes in with the ultimate.
Goes in.
He's stunned. There's going to be Brom ultimate.
Yeah, still got it. And it's
and
out now.
Here,
oh my days.
When Velja goes in.
Beautiful. Production smurfing it there. We saw the timing. Ronaldo plays to the edge and unfortunately is caught by the bell.
That's what
trying to pick up their third kill of the game. And it is all on Velia, actually. He's 100% of their kills this game. He's going to have to do a lot of work on this Wukong. Now the 2 items. Past the level 11 mark as well for the second round of the Cyclone. So beginning to do a lot of work here on the Wukong if he gets the opportunity to get a couple casts of the ultimate off. A few minutes until the dragon spawns. There's 2 apiece right now in the game. 3,000 gold in the lead of Verdant, but certainly not unmanageable for Los Ratones. Assuming they can stabilize, I'll not give up the Baron or something.
Considering how much Verdant have taken throughout the game so far, that's not really a significant gold lead that we can talk about. They didn't manage to get too much out of the Atacon buff. They pretty much killed Baus, and That's it, I would say.
A
They
tier
pushed through the
two,
bot
yeah.
lane. Yeah, okay, the tier 2. Yes, that's something, but that's not as much as we have seen people being able to pull off without a combat. Now they would need to go with the Baron, because they still can't really push forward, because there is still Bows, there is still Nemesis who are holding these side lanes together. Verdant really need this Baron buff right now.
The risk of mixing our sports metaphors. Job's not done for Verdant. A little bit more to finish this game and put the nails in the coffin, and Los Ratones have got be some of the I think it is fair to say the most experienced team in the ERLs, at least in terms of level of success here. Going to be very difficult to close out against. They're going to try and jump here onto Velia, who actually ends up turning a huge amount of damage back! Crowdy! Heavy is that Crowdy, just does huge amounts of work, and Obstinates crumbles under the weight.
And the payoff for killing somebody like that is so sweet, because so many members of Verdant have the champion bounties on their heads. So if Crowny continues doing what he just did, he's going to be the richest man alive soon.
Chains of Corruption. Reckless puts up the door, flashes away with the stand behind me as well. Stays alive. 2 minutes until the Dragon. Still a whiles before that one. The pick onto Obstinates cannot lead to the mid lane tier 1 falling, as Verdant defend it with a few ultimates.
It's so interesting though, because both of the teams keep pushing. But it looks like both of them need something else to continue pushing further, because none of them have really been able to find a definitive win so far. Again, the difference between the teams is not that big, and Los Ratones are doing a great job finding ways to neutralize the lead that Verdant have accumulated to themselves. They're still farming in, they're still getting in the items. We're seeing 2 items across the board for Los Ratones, which is still less than what Verdant had, but still the gap between the teams is not that big.
And Verdant are just proving to be a very contrarian team. Last week, they win the game where they've had to roll swap and sub in players who cannot win the game, where their roster's at normal strength against what should have been theoretically an easier team, if I remember correctly. And this time around, they lose a game against Light Type where they were nominally favored and actually playing better against Los Ratones, who were expected to go undefeated here. We're full of some of the very best players to have ever touched the game of League of Legends. Just period. Not an ERL, not an NLC, just the game in general. And they are here 13 kills to 4 and going toe to toe here, matching items, getting the Atacam buff, and they close this one out. Story it would be for them. The memes write themselves, guys. Look at the name of that player in front of you, Ronaldo versus Bowsy. It's just beautiful to witness. I've seen the memes on Twitter. Some of them are horrifying.
I wish I didn't see some of the memes on Twitter. I don't know if they're work of art or just horrifying. Yeah. Oh.
Ow.
Wow,
Ow.
ow. Like that. Ow, that damage.
Ghost.
3 items, Bows. What is that?
He just ghost plates and back. So of course Ronaldo has got himself a Blade of the Rune King and Stridebreaker, so theoretically should be able to heal a fair amount of this up. Ronaldo just unbinds their soul away, but now Nemesis is looking to punish. Jumps on forwards, gets a huge juggle to Ronaldo, and there's nothing being done on the other side. They're all setting up for Dragon in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, they're missing their mid laner.
Where is a mid laner? In 45 seconds he will be back, but that's too long of a time that allows Los Ratones to push for the objectives right now. The Dragon just spawned is going to be a soul point for whoever takes it. The Baron is still up and running.
That's a big amount of damage, but great door from Reckless. Oh, it's beautiful. There's just no way through it. They cannot find their way past that big wall. And Obstinates goes looking for a pick alongside No Name, and they lose their support as well. And Los Ratones head towards the Baron and Verdant. They've done so much work this game. They got the Atagon, they got the kills. In a matter of moments, it's all beginning to slip away again.
No Name is still around. But can they try to pull something with Balls around? No, it's too late already. The Baron is down, and Papatiro will be down too.
Mishi gets a fair amount of junk onto Baus, who flashes away and survives. No way! Phasers doesn't work, so Mishi dies on the other side! It is calculated! It's a good life! Never mind a good death from Bowsy.
He had 1 HP. I saw that. Literally just 1 to his name, and he still survives. What is this game? Look at the goal difference between the teams. The gap that was there, it's almost gone over Ronaldo. Oh, that was beautiful actually, but doesn't manage to kill anybody.
It looks nice. It doesn't actually lead to all that much.
Yeah.
Maybe that's about Ronaldo's later career. I don't know. I always preferred Messi. What can I say? But over towards the Dragon we go. I mean, soul point secured by Los Ratones, but not the soul itself. Verdant need to take stock and stabilize. They've just lost themselves a Dragon and a Baron. They're not out of this game yet. They've still got 3 items. They've still got an absolute way to win this game, and Barros could be in a scary position here. Avoids the Mortal Steel, waiting for Ronaldo to pop back. And the teleports begin to fly on through. Los Ratones want to play this. Here come those double TPs. Crowley's here alongside Nemesis. Goes charging on forwards with the ultimate. Reckless on the other side. Ronaldo caught up by them. Obstinate flashes over. But where can the Yone go? Except an early grave.
We haven't really discussed the draft that much, but oh, that was close. But this last pick of Brom for Reckless, it's literally a game changer for Los Ratones, going into the team that just wants to press all of their R buttons and go right onto you, all in, no breaks, no hesitation. Brom is incredible into exactly that team comp. Barus, though, is
dead.
Yeah, which is the
it's a
same.
good death. He clears the wave.
Yeah, and look at the bot lane in the meantime. Look at how much Los Ratones are getting. No article buff, by the way. That's all raw.
Nemesis steps on forwards with the shifting sands and the summoning of the soldiers, but the inhibitor's down, the inhibitor turret before it as well, and all the while they can't even get the tier 2 topside because Baus just clears the wave in the face of mortal peril. Second inhibitor falls and Los Ratones have regained control of this. Nemesis goes looking good! Zonya's over Papitiro. Reckless though will step on forwards, gets the concussive blows down onto Mishi, who is stunned up and dead. 2 rights. Ronaldo backing away, just shy of being stunned himself. Triple to Crowley, who is the real king of the game. Los Ratones 4-0. Early game, be damned.
It looked scary at some point. It looked like Los Ratones would actually lose their... I mean, they would not lose their place. They would still be number 1 even if they lost this game. But they will lose their streak if they went down. And judging by the early game, it looked like they were getting close to it. But they managed to find those ways back into the game. And honestly, Reckless and Crowley were having such a good game today. It's just such a joy to look at them. Such a joy to see what they're able to do with their champions, especially for Reckless. We saw a lot of recon from him. We saw some Alistar, but finally we're seeing more champions. And this Braum, that was just the best thing that I saw in this game.
And I think for the other side of Verdant, they're going to be really frustrated because actually they were the ones with the kill leads. They were the ones that got the Atakan. They were in a really good position in this game and then bluntly didn't capitalize as well as they could have done with those kind of advantages and tools they had. But I think from myself and you, Solari, it's been a wonderful day. Good to cast with you and good to cast some absolute madness here in the League of Legends scene. But we're going to be handing over the desk to end the day and bring us about the wrapping up Group A, as it were. So handing it over to the desk right now.
Thank you, Initial Art. Thank you, Solari. And this was a good day of end of day. This was so interesting. And Verdant were winning. I heard this from you, Foxtrot. Verdant were winning for 20 minutes until they weren't. And we gotta understand how they got to that point, what happened, because Los Ratones had a lot on their plate.
Dude, 28 minutes of Verdant looking clean. It was great from Verdant. We're sitting here thinking, man, they're going to close this one out as well. Like, they're at that point now where actually Los Ratones can't face check. They can't get control of the map. You just play for the Dragon Soul and don't do anything dumb. And then Ronaldo dies, pushing up really, really far. And then, oh my God, what was that forced play in mid, though, that lost them the Nash as well? Like, you're 4 versus 5. It's not like it wasn't even like an offer up kill where someone from Los Ratones was inting. You hardcore forced that play. It was just and then literally 3 minutes later, boom, game's over. It's done.
Then they fight in the bot side jungle for no. It's so disgusting, and it made worse by what came before, which was series of genuinely good plays from Verdant. The preemptive flashback away there from Mishi to dodge away from the Emperor's Divide. Then you got the roam down from Ronaldo. No Name backing himself, going, yeah, I can absolutely throw myself into the fray in this situation, picking up 2 more kills. And we're all here going, this is the most Verdant thing possible. You lose to Ludvis Lightside, who hadn't won a single game, and then you get yourself in a disgustingly advantageous position against the best team in the league.
It's wild. Yeah.
They let it go. That's the problem. They let it go. Obviously, that play you talk about in the mid game, near that turret where Obstinato it happens. But the action, the Atakan one I think it's one of the most interesting plays we've seen so far. It was on the millisecond. The idea that that fight ensues there and the zombie form comes in and everything is safe because they withdraw at the perfect pixel. It's Verdant. Might as well watch it. For those of you who missed it and missed how pixel perfect it was, guide me through this because...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So at this point, you don't really have the damage if you're Verdant to take Atakan. But Los Ratones still have to try and show their face and sort of contest this. But when you've got Rail and you've got Rumble, this is the perfect choke to fight. And that's exactly what Verdant try and do. And that's where they go right here. Papatero unfortunately silences himself as Ronaldo goes in. But still, it's a great fight. Perfect positioning in this choke point. All the AoE goes down. Boss dies.
Look at Mishi.
Look at Mishi. Look at
1
Mishi.
HP. What happens to this Q, bro?
What?
What happened to that Q? How did that not kill him?
What?
But still, he gets the withdrawal and he survives at the very last minute. As soon as Atakan goes down, you get the GAs up for Verdant. That's what turns this team fight. That's what makes this team fight so positive for Verdant. And that was the big moment for these guys to get that early advantage. It was a lot of smart macro plays, a lot of smart micro plays as well. It was genuinely very impressive from Verdant. And they were in a great spot to win this game, as we said. And then they lost 2 minutes later. It was one of the most ridiculous games I've seen here in NLC.
I was just checking. I don't know if we have the perfect fight to wrap it up in terms of replays, because as soon as that fight ensued with the Atakan, I was like, yeah, Verdant has this in the bag.
Like,
They just gave
genuinely.
Baus 200 gold instead of like 600 to 800. Oh, this is it. Okay. Oh,
Yeah. So Ronaldo's in bot here. That's the thing we want to know on the mini map here, right? So middle court, take us through why this is just not it.
So right, Ronaldo on the minimap in the bot lane dies, pushed up way too far for no reason, and Verdant like, do you know what? We're 4v4 on the map right now because Baus is in bot lane. Let's just engage on the Wukong. But it's so disjointed. Mishi can provide a little bit of damage, but immediately Reckless is there, and they're able to return fire. And Nemesis gets that kill on Obstinatus. Los Ratones get all this priority over the mid lane. They can then go to the Baron. Look at that gold graph!
Wow.
Look at that! Verdant with consistent, clean, well-executed League of Legends until 28.5 minutes, and less than the duration of a Baron buff later, they have lost. I thought it was the most Verdant thing possible to have that loss versus Linvis Lightside and then come out swinging against Los Ratones, but I'm really sorry. I love this organization. I love these players, but this is just the sort of thing that happens to Verdant. So close, but so far. You can take a lot of positives from this game. You should be taking a lot of positives from this game. But you make one mistake against Los Ratones, and they will snowball the game so quickly, if you blink, you'll miss it.
But may I bring a question to both of you? Not only you take a lot of positive sides to this game if you're Verdant, but it's also a signal at the end of the day that Los Ratones can bleed. First game, we had some visions of it. This one, we had a lot of them. Obviously, they can bleed, but they can punch back really heavy. Go for the throat, but they bleed.
And I think the good thing to take away from it was just how the bleeding happened, right? Because you're absolutely right. We saw them look a bit mortal today.
Yeah.
And for me, the main culprit was the fact that in this game, Verdant was able to punish Baus and his playstyle. So Baus draws so much attention to himself on the top side. He's been doing it, all, last week he did it, last game as well. And teams don't really have that answer, right? They've been trying to go for him. They've been trying to push him out. And then Los Ratones just gets everything else on the map, and it's never worth it for them. And Baus is just... he's too much. But this time round, I think Baus was a liability, right? In that lane phase, he was punished a lot. And part of that, I think, is because you're lethality Scion and you don't take a lot of time to die. So if you collapse, you're done with like in a few seconds, and then you can, as Verdant, would just able to move on from that play. But either way, regardless of the actual specifics, the fact is Baus was exploited this game, and it put a big hole in Los Ratones' plan, and credit to Verdant for being able to do that. And moving forward, that would be the strategy I would imagine that teams employ to punish Los Ratones and to try and find that first win against them.
Well, at the end of the day, Los Ratones still end up the day with a 4-0 clean for them. Nord will follow with a 3-1. But all these big names, these big names, I think this is what we need to take away. They bleed. And as soon as we get into playoffs, things might change or even be better for them. Because what we're getting from Nord and Ratones and other teams like that is they love to adapt. And that experience allows them to adapt. So maybe on the best of, it's even harder to take them down. Yes, they bleed, but they'll bounce right off. And they will take you down on the best of 3 without you even blinking. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's a good day of League of Legends at the end of the day. I don't know if you agree.
Nah, thoroughly entertaining. We had drama, we had games that swung back and forth, we had upsets. Yeah, pretty much everything that you could want for a day from NLC. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was good fun. We didn't get the win in the end, Verdant versus Los Ratones. It's always interesting. It's always entertaining to see the underdog pull something out. But it was a great game. That was a very entertaining game to watch, and I loved it.
For those of you who just joined in that are not aware of what happened during the day, or for those of you who have a memory like me and already forgot about it, might as well show you the results from the beginning until now. We started off with the Bulldogs versus Nord. Nord were able to clean them. Lightside versus Verdant was an interesting one. We finally saw glimpses of Lightside. Los Ratones versus Bulldog. They were confusing, but they still got it in the end. Nord versus Lightside was a different show. Nord are just getting better every single game. We talked with the coach on the interview, and he's saying they're finally getting those scrims on. They're finally getting together. The play style is aligning. This is a clean team. At the end of the day, just like on the first day of Group A, by the way, the last game was going so smoothly for one team until it wasn't. And Los Ratones were capable of getting that 4-0. With that in mind, let's show the group table of this one. Because this is the seeding stage. And this is exactly... There you go. Right, this is... I was confused. I was like, yeah.
We got lots of graphics. We got lots of graphics.
Yeah.
Lots of acronyms.
Lot of names,
lots of
lot of
logos,
things, lot of
teams,
colors.
Lots of things going on.
Hey! Let's bring another graphic. Would you like a chair? Might as well join in on the giveaway. I don't know if we could pull this off, the graphic. There you go. So the standing says this.
That's the one.
I need to ask the wrong graphic for the right one. Whoopie. I got you, bro. Los Ratones with the 4-0. Nord Esports with the 3-1. And then the tie. Bring in the ties. Verdant, Bulldogs, and Lightside are sharing the same fate, which means... I think we have to do a tiebreaker.
Yes,
we will.
We do.
So, Friday night, we are going to have additional League of Legends on the NLC Twitch channel, which I know that everyone's always excited for. And I think very different teams that we found here at 1 and 3. Verdant with a lot of sort of ERL, like, I'm not going to say goats, but damn good players. Bulldogs, they've got a mix of everything. They've got a bot lane where like the support is old enough to be the ADC's dad. And then Lightside, you've got like a few guys that haven't really made a splash on the wider European scene, but here in the NLC, we absolutely love them.
Yeah.
I was about to say something, but I'm not going to skip this one. We were already moving on with the show, but we had to trace back because I do believe we have Elja on the interview with us. We finally got him on board. If possible, bring him in. I have a lot of questions for you, my man. Welcome back! This was a hard one, wasn't it?
It was a bit harder than expected, but yeah. I'm happy we ended up winning the game. I feel like even when we were losing, we just knew like, you know, we can just wait for them to make some mistakes. We can get something off of it, and yeah, probably win the game after that. Or macro seems really good.
Tell me something. Okay, you got the 4-0. You're clean. You're good. But at the end of the day, don't you believe today was kinda confusing for Los Ratones?
kind of confusing.
Oh, so you think the first game was clean as well?
No, I think you know, you have good days and you have bad days, but
Yeah.
the other day it's the whole point is to get better and to win some games as well. I think we did both things, so I think we're doing pretty good.
I see that smile. I know there's something behind that. Tell me something. Nowadays, you know from now on, you have to deal with Baus saying, I have a 100% win rate professionally. How do you deal with that? You know
Yeah.
that, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so far it's looking good. I mean, he's not lying. He's 100% win rate so far, so he's smurfing. Honestly, yeah. I'm really happy to have him as my teammate.
Do you have any feeling towards any team right now that you would like to face off on playoffs? Again, I don't make this question as I would like to play versus them. No, I want to see beating in blood game. I want to see something where you're like, yeah, I want to show everybody that we're just way better, so I want to demolish this team.
Yeah, it's well, we are in the group with the Nord, so there are good chances that we're gonna meet Rudy in the playoffs, and yeah, I think I want to play them because of what kind of players they have, what kind of caliber. Like they're at least they used to be like really really good players, and I believe they still have it in them. So yeah, I really want to face them.
Hey, I love it. Velja, go rest. That was a lovely day. Congratulations on the photo and good luck on the remaining of scrims where Baus is going to keep saying that. I wish you the best, man.
Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the evening.
I'll see you soon.
You.
You could see that smile of yeah, we won. It was a risky one, but we won. We got it. Ugh. Hey, I stole webcam from Middlecott. Okay, I'm focused now. So we end up the day with Group A. What do we have for tomorrow, though? Do you want to see the schedule? Oh, that was fast. Okay, production is in.
Oh, we're on it.
They're smurfing. Look at this. We're going to start with DMG versus Rich Gang. Rich Gang are leading the pack, by the way. Chaos versus Venom Crest. Ruddy versus DMG. This will be such an interesting one. Rich Gang versus Chaos. It's time for Chaos to show up that they can fight, they can throw punches. And at the end of the day, it's going to be Venom Crest versus Ruddy to wrap off Group B. Any game you really want to see?
There's two teams I've got my eyes on, and that is Ruddy and Rich Gang. Rich Gang were 2-0 last week. Is that the caliber of team this is? Because that was a little bit surprising. And for Ruddy, we didn't see the best out of them for sure. And I want to see them step it up this week.
Yeah, I have permanently got my eyes on Venom Crest because I feel like this is a team that I'm almost surprised if I'm not surprised by them, if that makes sense. Obviously, could have gone a little bit better for them last week, only going 1-1, but that matchup against Ruddy I think is going to be very interesting. Ruddy definitely looking a little bit shaky, and Venom Crest have made a habit in the past of beating teams that on paper have significantly more firepower than them.
Agree 100%. Now, it's time for us to have a conversation, you and me, back on your house, on chat, okay? Look at me. Now look at this chair. You want one? It's quite easy. All you have to do is head on to Twitter and follow NLC LOL. And then you go on to Instagram. I know you have it. I've seen your page. You go on to Arozzi Officials on Instagram and follow them as well. Then you like and retweet the post on Twitter. And you might find yourself sitting on one of these beauties. I can testify that these are actually extremely comfortable. Middlecott can't. Foxtrot can't as well. But I can solely testify this is so comfortable. So it's up to you to head on to those two pages and just follow and retweet. You have to do nothing, just that. Hundreds of people are doing it already, okay? So it's time for you to step up back at home, okay, chat? Okay. From both of you, Middlecott and Foxtrot, last words. Come on, hit me.
I would love a new chair. I would absolutely love a new chair right now.
Oh, you were crying for the entire split for your new mouse, and you got the mouse, and you were insufferable. So I believe you're gonna get like a bench or something at the end of the day. No chair for you, good sir. Foxtrot, plead for the chair, Fox.
I plead for it, mate. I've got it sitting downstairs. I just need to build it.
There you go. Wait, what do you mean? Wait.
It's.
I had to to fight to get my own chair. I was like, please, I know you have the chair, just deliver it to my place. And delivery was like, oh, I don't know, we can't find your chair. I'm like, you're robbing me. And you have one sitting downstairs.
It needs assembly, but it's
I'm
it's
gonna
be
come and
here
steal
next
that
week.
chair. I'm gonna come and steal
Friday.
that chair, Foxy. Okay, you better watch out.
That's fine,
You're the
mate.
teacher,
Go
you
for
can't
it.
say those things. You're the teacher. Fox, what do you have to say?
Two things. Firstly,
Chaos.
bring on the tiebreakers. I'm excited for those on Friday. That's going to be fun because we have some very up and down performances from all of those teams. I don't know what's going to happen. And secondly, middle court, if you do break into my house, please stick the dishwasher on because that could use it.
With that in mind, we thank you so much for tuning in for today. Today was Group A. It is a wrap, but for Group B, we still have to wait for tomorrow. We had the beautiful Salari and the amazing initialized casting. We had Middlecourt and Foxtrot on the desk, allowing us to have a beautiful day as well. Production doing their best, and you back at home being beautiful watching this, because without you, it's not even the same. It's not the same, so we need you tomorrow as well at the same time, so we can wrap up Group B as well. My name is Asherom. It is a lovely pleasure to have you with us. Kat, you can't do that. Stop biting me. With that in mind, I'll send you for tomorrow. I'll see you soon. Until then, keep climbing. Stop biting. I'll see you soon. What? You little cat.